What's happening, people? Hope you're all well. I am going to check out, I believe, the third song by the band Pure. I don't know how to say it properly, but it is the dual project of Keaton Goldwire from Invent Animate, the current Invent Animate guitarist, and the ex-vocalist of Invent Animate, Ben English, I believe is his name. They have a new song out on UNFD called Death of the Wolf, and it came out 2 days ago, has 17,000 views. And I heard the first song that these guys released because there was a little bit of hype around the project, obviously with Ben coming back to, make some music, or at least, I guess, in the context of something similar to Invent Animate, because he was doing it with Keaton Goldwire, who is, again, like I mentioned, the current guitarist of Invent Animate and one of the better guitarists in the modern metal space, or I guess one of the more unique and recognizable guitarists in the modern metal space. So I checked out the first song, which I thought was all right, a little bit jarring at times. It's kind of like one of these thal metalcore, like modern projects that veers away from regular song structures and is more just about atmosphere and like crazy guitar sounds. But people are saying that this is a really good song, and this is one of their better songs of the three I think they released. And I'm interested. So we're going to check it out. Let's go. Pierre, Death of the Wolf. It's actually quite North Lane straight away. Wow. I believe Keaton does some screaming on this as well, which is cool. Very like still world, I want to say. Even with the snowy visuals. The video looks out of sync. Yeah, it looks like slightly off. Okay, Keaton with the screams. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I don't like this video. It's freaking me out a little bit. It's too like just veering down someone's throat. Yeah. There's something in that because it kind of sounds a little bit like Carmagnacca at the end. With the melodic, but also really heavy guitar work that's like bubbling underneath the surface. But it feels like it's leaning a little bit too heavily on the nostalgic pull that people will have towards the older Invent Animate stuff, especially in the kind of glassier guitar tones of the atmosphere. It does really feel like they're trying to, I guess, pull that old audience in, because I've seen it for ages with people like saying like, oh, bring back Ben to Invent Animate, which from hearing this, I think he's clearly a good vocalist, but like Marcus is fucking next level. So the people who are kind of like wanting that back, I don't really get that perspective, but it's cool that this can exist as well. This isn't for me. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing, but the mix just made that sound really muddy in parts where you couldn't really tell if there was like an actual intended like guitar groove that was happening in the background or if it was just a layer of atmosphere. It just sounded a bit fucking weird to me. I was a bit like, what is happening right now? So not the most accessible song. I'd probably prefer this a little bit more, well, quite a lot more over the first song. The first song was way more chaotic. This one is chaotic, and I can see what they're trying to do. It's definitely leaning into that like Thal realm with like the really pretty, again, like kind of still world and older Invent Animate style of guitar work, all that glassy tones and the atmosphere. But I'm just not really that into the vocals, and I don't really feel much from an emotional standpoint. The mix also makes it hard to really feel like that's landing. I don't know what it is. It just felt really fuzzy and muddy at parts where I couldn't really hear what was actually supposed to be the forefront of the actual mix. It was like, am I supposed to be paying attention to the vocals here, or am I really locking into the guitars in the background? I don't really know, but yeah, a weird song. I think the final part of the song has potential, but I'm also just kind of a little bit over that style of breakdown. It's almost like cinematic as opposed to any real interesting musical qualities, in my opinion. Obviously, this is very subjective. It's like that slow Thal style of breakdown that's all about, like without the visuals, I think that is just so much less appealing. I think the visuals with all the slow motion and the kicking up in the air and the swinging the hair and like the flowers reversing back into the ground, the snow like melting away, it makes it more epic than I think it actually is sonically, if that makes sense. Not the biggest fan of that. I appreciate bands being artsy and trying something different and like trying to make an artsy song that doesn't necessarily make sense or follow like normal structures. But sometimes that leads to things just not really landing. And for me, that didn't really land. So that was Pure with Death of the Wolf. And look, this can exist in isolation, apart from, away from Invent Animate. But it does just feel like it's drawing heavily on the older fan base. And it's like, oh, we can use that angle to make our own project, which is cool. Like it's another outlet for them artistically. But to me, it just doesn't really land. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Leave a like in the video, make sure you're subbed, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.